This is Lawrence D. Adams, and it's a new year, and it has some things I want to talk about. I realize that the biggest problem that a lot of guys have is not women, but the biggest problem is they have suppressed their true masculinity or their true manhood. Let's go into it. We have had our eyes on the wrong prize, on how many women we can get, how big her butt is, who we are trying to attain, who we can have sex with. But we're missing one vital key. We have not embraced our true masculinity. We live in a culture now that actually fights on every level for yes you, to not embrace your masculinity. You have been taught to suppress being masculine, being a man. I'm not talking about alpha, beta. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about inside of you. You have muted the voice of what you want, what you desire, and going after it. You have been programmed to shut that voice up that's inside of you, that some call the killer. Many of you have been raised by single mothers or fathers that were not there. So you have no kind of point of reference of what real masculinity is. So now you exchange or you talk or you interact with women like a woman, even though you are a man. I have been suppressing our masculinity. We have been afraid in this present climate of Me Too movement, in this present climate of Bill Cosby and everyone else, is to shut down and not express our true masculinity. Or as I call it, to allow the lion in you to arise. And so what happens is we have an outcry that I heard many times on my radio show years ago. Where are the real men? Well, the real men are locked up in a cage inside of themselves. That's right. Locked up in a cage inside of themselves. Naked. Wanting to be released from this self-imposed programming that's infiltrated your operating system. You have been given a virus from this society. That's why I'm here to pull you out of this matrix that has told you not to be a man, not to express yourself, not to say what you want, not to demand at all costs that your time is important. You think the issue is I can't get women. You think the issue is I want to have sex. The real issue, my brother, is that you have suppressed the masculine energy inside of you. You're thinking, how did this happen? Let me tell you a story. Many of you guys don't know, but I grew up in the church world. Father was a preacher. Mother was a preacher. Always taught to be nice. My grandmother was a preacher, generation of preachers. I was taught to be nice, taught to do everything right. I ended up getting married, having 2 kids. I had the kid, and they called it a 1.2 kids, brand new car, house, all that. But yet, secretly inside, I was crying because I was not being a man. You said, well, all those things. You have the wife, you have the kids, you have the car, you have the house. Those all seem like things that would define you as a man. But I was not expressing myself as the man. And what I did, I was quickly told to put him away and be the nice guy, charming, and one who doesn't argue or who doesn't combat. And I put him away to my own chagrin. So what I had to do was I ended up self-destructing my own marriage because I was looking for an outlet to express my true masculinity. Fast forward, I get married again after just getting divorced. I end up in Atlanta, almost homeless again. And then I wake up. It's like somebody shook me or shook the cage that I was in on the inside of me. And finally, I began to open up. I began to open up. I realized that I had been sleeping all this time through life, not expressing or demanding what I wanted. I was still asleep, but I had to wake up out of this comatose that I was in. I went through several relationships. Still, I was awake, then I was still asleep. Awake and still asleep. It wasn't until years later that the cage in which I was living in caused me to be homeless, rather than the bus back and forth all night, washing up sparingly, hustling up money any way I can hustle up money. I'm saying all this for a reason. It's when I said, you know what? I deserve better. I'm not going out like this. Even prior to this all happening, I got robbed at gunpoint. Took my computer, took my laptop, my books that I had written, all that was gone. But still, I was inside of this cage, not allowing this man to break out. But what I didn't realize was it was a self-imposed prison that I have put myself in because of the program that's been given to me. But I remember a couple nights riding the bus, I said, I'm coming out of this. I am not going back. I will not allow nobody to dictate to me what I should do, where I should live, and how I'm going to live. I woke up. I began to demand respect. It had nothing to do with women. I want you to get that first. It had to do with me first. is when I begin to wake up and begin to free my own self out of this self-imposed cage of not expressing myself as a man. Let me break it down even a little bit further, because I know some guys are listening to this. It was to the point that I had so internalized everything when I was living in New York after Atlanta. I had a girlfriend, fiance. I felt she was cheating, whatever the case may be. I was working in a job that I wasn't being free at to express myself, and I felt like I was just being used. It was at that point that I was about to take my life that I had so internalized everything that I lost my voice. I could not talk. I had, in so many words, turned on my own self. You guys need to really hear this. It's when I realized that it wasn't worth it to take my life. So let me recap and give you a little chronological how it happened. Married, divorce, in Atlanta. Stayed in Atlanta, did my 1-2, talked to a lot of women, wherever the case may be. Come back to Cleveland, go to New York. Go to New York, find a fiance, we get together, boom, about to take my life. Come back to Cleveland. Again, couldn't find a job, everything is going haywire. Found a job, end up losing a job, then become homeless. All this stuff was happening in a cycle. All, when I trace it, it goes back to one thing. My inability to allow the person on the inside to come out and demand and say what I wanted. Did I have chicks during that time? Yeah, I had plenty of women. A lot of women. But I was lacking that one thing. The freedom to be me. To say what I wanted without worrying about what other people thought, because I didn't care anymore. I've been to the lowest of low. I ate crackers for dinner. I've been there. But it was at the point of me cracking open and breaking myself out of this self-imposed prison that I put myself in, that I began to rise like a sphinx out of the flames. I'm talking to you, brothers, whoever else is listening. You cannot suppress, but so long, the man that you need to be and that the world is looking for. You must speak your truth. You must be your truth. You must be it. People are waiting on you. You can live comfortable all you want. I used to ride around in Rolls Royces. No lie, pictures, receipts to prove it. Lived in a mansion with a maid and a chef. But yet, with all of that, something was still missing, because I was still stuck in the cage. Because none of those things were mine. They were someone else's. So I'm telling you now, in this new year, break out of this self-imposed cage that you have. Stop suppressing who you are. Stop suppressing who you are. Who you think you are, it's not the real you. You are actually living a lie, because you've been fed a program that says this is what you need to do. This is how you should do it. Follow this thing, and you don't follow it, you're not right. And most of the programming has become through women because you have not been giving the proper programming from a man on how to be a man. Hence, lead to why many of you have issues, hurt, disappointment, why I can't get women, why I can't get laid, is because you're living off a program that's outdated, that's designed to keep you neutered. Let's keep it real. I'm keeping it 100. It wants to keep you neutered. You can believe it or not, but that's the design. I know. I'm watching. I'm on the internet. I check people all the time, men, women, whatever. I have no problem because I'm going to speak my truth and I believe what I believe. And I have no problem admitting that I'm wrong, but I have some things that I stand by that you ain't going to get by me. I don't care who you are. That, my friend, is what women are looking for. A man who's got out of the cage, who knows who he is, who has a purpose, and who does not take crap from her, who leads. What happened is you have not led yourself, and so how can you lead her? You're so asphyxiated on getting, that you have not given back to yourself. How can I get this girl? What do I need to say? There's no line in the world. There's certain lines I can teach you, push-pull, some PUA stuff, or I can teach you this stuff and that. No. Let me tell you like a real rubber hit the road. You must be a man. How do I do this? That's the real question. No one told you that it's okay to be you. But I'm speaking to you, brother, that it's time for you, like I had to, wake up. Let me give you another story. It's this young lady I was talking to. She's used to running over men. I know this information because I listen. But I made up in my mind because I knew who I am and where I'm going. You're not going to ever run over me. So what do I do? What do? I give directions and commands. This is what we're going to do, and this is where we're going. Either you with it or you ain't. That's scary because the programming inside of you says, nah, I can't do that. What if she gets mad? What if she doesn't like it? I realize many times they may say they don't like it, they don't want it, but they're going to doggone respect you. And that's real talk. Some of you guys, the problems you have with women can easily be solved when you step up and just be a man. Who else is going to tell you that? Oh, I got to do this, I got to do that. You're looking for the magic pill, baby boy. Ain't no magic pill. Step up and be a man. Don't just listen to this. I'm telling you now, you're going to got to get out there and do something. Got to interact with women. You got to get your social skills together. Some of the issues, a lot of you guys, it's not, I keep saying, it's not the women. Your clothing game ain't together. You ain't matching. You ain't had a haircut. Breath stink. Smell like puppy child. You're not taking care of yourself. ever looked at all the old pimps, one of the things that you've seen a common denominator is they made sure that they looked good all from head to toe. Clothes were sharp, iron, whatever it was the case, down to their shoes. Many in our generation have forgot how to take care of themselves, how to dress, how to be properly groomed. I'm not saying I got it all together. Baby, when I step out, they know I'm there. Oh, I don't need all that to get girls. But man, sit yourself down. And you doggone should be smelling good. Anytime I wear my secret cologne, women know, oh, that's Lawrence. One lady at work said, I can't even get near you because I'm going to get all, she gets bothered. I'm saying all that to say this, because I want you to get me to the matter of what I'm getting at. Get out of the cage. The issue is not the women. All these men mad at women and they ain't doing right. They did me wrong and they ain't nothing but these. And the real issue is you, bro. You butthurt. Get out of the cage. You the leader. You the trainer. You give commands. You don't ask questions. This is what we gonna do. You want McDonald's or Burger King? No, we going to Applebee's or we going to this. You going or no? Complete difference. I'm saying all this because I want you to get this in 2019. I don't want you to be like me. All these years finally learning it and getting out of the cage. Now to sprint when I could have been sprinting years ago. Let me tell you another story. Or should I tell this story? I'm thinking about it. Yeah, I'll tell it. It's when I became comfortable in who I was as a man that it began to affect how comfortable I was in the bedroom. I was just used to doing the 1-2 and that's it. Once I came comfortable in my masculinity, in my manhood, outside of the bedroom, it affected what I did in the bedroom. And I remember this one chick, because I was at that place where I was just confident, hey, it is what it is. And I began to talk to her in text a certain way. So when time came for her to come over, because my text game is off the chain. I have a woman climbing up 6 flights of stairs in the winter time with flip-flops on, trying to get into where I'm at through a text message. But what I did was I made her, I ain't gonna even tell you. Catch me on the next video and see what I tell you what I did.